thank you all for joining me. I thank you in advance for making the intention to sit through this trading presentation that I've created and the chart setup and some brief examples of what it's like to gather these percents. So I'll just go ahead and I'll just get straight into it. Start reading the slides. It's not a lot. Just bear with me. We're gonna get through this real fast, man. It shouldn't be more than an hour. All right, let's get it. So this is a comprehensive trading plan that focuses on turning $100 into $1 million. So what are we doing here? We're going to turn $100 into $1 million. I know, it sounds exciting, right? I know it sounds too good to be true, right? I bet you're sitting there thinking, how is this even possible? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to walk you through the plan, step by step, A to Z. So first things first, let me show you what inspired this plan in the first place. This right here, this chart. I saw it on TikTok somewhere, screenshotted it, and that sparked the flame inside of me. And ever since then, I've been on a tangent. Because all you need is a plan. All you need is a plan. As I've been sitting here for these past almost 7-8 years, watching the markets, seeing stocks move X amounts of percents on a daily basis, I said, man, I can come up with something. And I'm sure I'm not the first one. No, in fact, I'm not the first one. And at the end of this video, you'll see why. Of course I'm not. And as we politic even more, I can prove it that I'm not, just by the way the market acts. Okay, so if you ever saw this slide, this is what happens when you double your money, right? From a penny, you double it 30 times, starting at a penny. After 30 times, you'll be at 5 mil. Okay, but like the presentation said, we're gonna try to go from 100 to $1 mil. So let's just get through the slides, all right? So the picture that you just saw shows us the power of compounding. Compounding. It shows what will happen if we doubled our money 30 times, starting from a penny. After doubling our money 30 times, starting from a penny, we will end up with over $5 million. Still, you're wondering how. Don't worry. I'm going to show you the plan. But first, I must express to you the simple math under the hood here. Although it's saying day 1, day 2, day 3, right? The money doesn't have to be doubled in a day, which sounds really challenging, I know. But in fact, we can take out the word day and replace it with the word week, month, or year, depending on how aggressive you want to be. I prefer to replace the word day with the word month, and I will explain in the presentation why. So before we go any further, we need to break down this chart and give ourselves an idea of how we are going to achieve this ambitious goal. I will now go into the simple math that will break down these numbers into percents in order for this goal to be achieved in a comprehensive way. Now we begin. The concept of doubling your money here is simply making 100% return over and over 30 times. For the way we will do it, we will not be attempting straight up 100% returns in a day, although with extreme luck and skill, it could be done. Instead, we'll be aiming for 100% in a month. I bet you're still wondering, how? Like I said before, I got you. When it comes to getting this 100% in a month, we will be using the stock market as a vehicle to achieve this goal. While there may be many ways to double your money, like with cryptocurrency, options, pocket options, forex, drop shipping, Amazon FBA, real estate, we will use the stock market. Why the stock market over all these things? That's because for the past 7 or 8 years, I've been experimenting with these different ventures. And I found that in terms of pros and cons, simply being able to achieve consistency trading stock outweighed the pros and cons of the other choices, in my opinion, for me. Although options are a part of the stock market, in the beginning stages of this plan, it may be more difficult to use options to achieve this goal. And I can explain this later on in the presentation. So getting back to the stock market, the reason we're going to use the stock market is going to be for a few reasons, which I will list below here. It's not that I'm trying to sell you on the stock market. This is just the plan and how it works, period. So some of the reasons we'll be using the stock market is because the stock market has structure, right? The stock market, there are patterns in the stock market. The stock market has history, right? Stocks that have been trading for years, levels, right? The stock market has volume, right? People on the other side of your trade, right? Buyers and sellers moving the market, creating volatility, right? And this volatility is something that we need to capitalize in the market. Opportunity. The stock market offers opportunities every single day. That's 100% fact. Freedom. Being able to take your laptop anywhere in the world and trade and do this. All you need is an internet connection. Also, the stock market has a low barrier to entry. Anybody can make a trading account today. Just get you a brokerage account. Put $5 or $10 in it. You got yourself a brokerage account. Okay? Those are just a few examples. Let's move on. Now the plot thickens. So think back what I said previously in this presentation, that we will attempt to gain 100% return in 1 month. Since there are no trading days on Saturday and Sunday in the stock market, that leaves us to trade Monday through Friday. That is 5 days a week, or 20 days in a month. So that means if we divide that 100% goal by 20 days, that allows us to aim for a comfortable. That's right. You guessed it. You smart. That would allow us to gain a clean, comfortable 5% a day. Now look, calm down. So we didn't even get started yet, okay? Now I hope you got your seatbelt on, because up until this point, we were only going 30 miles an hour. Now, we're about to hit the freeway and start doing 50 miles an hour. Now check this out. For this plan, we need to use the stock market as a vehicle. And I will now show you how that will be done. So to do this, we must first set up a brokerage account. This brokerage account will be a cash account, not a margin account, unless you are so rich and bold and risky. that you will start with $25,000 to skip ahead on the chart 6 or 7 months, putting you only about 6 to 7 months away from the goal of $1 million. Considering those of you that will start around the $100 range, which puts you about 15 months away from the goal of $1 million. Okay? Refer to the chart in the next slide as follows. So here we have a chart, right? It says starting capital multiplied by 2 is 100% gain or return. It's doubled. Okay? It's 100% times 1, right? You get a trade that gives you 100%, you made 100%. Let's say this week you traded 2 stocks that gave you 50%. That's 100% on your capital. Let's say you traded 3 stocks that gave you 33% each, or 4 stocks that gave you 25% each, or 5 stocks that gave you 20% each this week, or in a day, or in the month. Or if you traded 6 stocks that gave you 15% each, or if you traded 10 stocks that gave you 10% each, that's 100%. But us, we're just trying to get 5% in a day. 5%. Do that 5% every day, you got 100% in a month. You start here month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, all the way to month 14. You're sitting at $1,638,400. Okay? Now, we're about to go 65 miles an hour. We're getting dangerous now. Notice in the previous slide, I mentioned starting capital. Right? That's because for this plan to work properly, we need to start somewhere on that chart, whether it be $10, $20, $40, $80, $100, right? Whether it be 10, 20, 40, 80, 100, we need to pick a place where we're going to start and stick to it, right? This dollar amount per trade, dollar amount, okay? Why? Okay? We need to stick to it. Every trade you take up until you reach about that $50,000 mark to the $200,000 mark. Because at this point, the share size starts to get a lot bigger for certain stocks. You start seeing more slippage, right? When you start getting in with 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares of a stock, you start to get hit with that slippage, which is where you might have wanted to get out at a certain price, but because you got so much shares, you got to get filled on multiple price levels, right? It works out in your favor to the upside a little bit, but when it's on the downside, you eating a bigger loss than you intended. Okay? So, every trade you take up until that $50,000 to $200,000 or more range needs to be taken with the entire account size, quote unquote, for whatever month you're on. Okay? I put that in quotations because we need to understand how to manage our account and implement the plan in a way that allows us to capitalize off of multiple opportunities on any given day. So please allow me to explain this in more detail. Are you on the edge of your seat? Because I know I am as I'm typing these words. From this point on, we need to understand just a couple of rules about how a cash account works. I will not go into detail about a margin account because this plan does not require a margin account. And if you're not starting with $25,000, you should not have a margin account. Only cash account. But I will briefly explain the benefits of a cash account and why it will work for those of us starting with $100. Message. With the cash account, you basically become your own broker. I'm going to let that sink in. Now, I know I might have lost some of you right there, but you're all very smart. And I said it, yes. With the cash account, you're basically going to become your own broker. And I'm going to tell you how. So please allow me to clarify that statement and give you an example of what I'm talking about here. So here's an example. Let's say Joe the plumber got a $100 bill, right? Joe the plumber, he sees this presentation and then he reaches out to me. He contacts me. He says, him and I talk about how he's going to make this happen, right? He wants to do this. He's like, all right, man, how can I do this then? He's traded before and he understands the charts. So he says to me, bro, am I supposed to put this 100 on a stock and try to get a 5% return in a day? I say, well, you could do that if you use the whole 100 if you use that whole 100 on one stock for the day and it works, you might get that 5% or more. For example, if you traded a stock that's $1 and it goes to $1.05, that's 5% right there. You can run with that. It might go to $1.10 and you got yourself 10% on the day. Heck, it might go to $1.15, $1.20, and you got yourself 15%, 20%, just like that. But if you use the whole 100 on a stock and have to book a quick 5% loss, well, with that cash account, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow to use that. Now, it's going to be $95 and not $100. Causing you to miss out on other opportunities that might have easily given you 2%, 4%, 5%, 10%, 20, 40, right? So then he says to me, well, what about this whole being your own broker business? And I say, well, you can be your own broker. And by that, I mean, pretend your account is a margin account. You can treat it like a margin account. You can pretend that $100 is a lot of money. So what you would do is use 10% of your account per trade, assuming we expect there to be at least 10 opportunities that day. So while you would be starting the plan with the $100, your account size in your mind would actually be $10. Meaning, you would technically be starting from the $10 line on that doubling your money chart, which will put you back about 3 months. So instead of the original 14 to 15 months to a mil, you would now be looking at around 17, 18 months. And then he says, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And he goes on to trade and he makes his million in 17, 18 months. Now look, y'all, I've been driving for a while now, and the speed limit signs done changed. The speed limit is now 85 miles per hour, but we do it 95. You can't jump out the car now. So now you got to say to yourself, where am I going to start at? How risky do I want to be? And here is where we are about to lay out some serious numbers that might be too much for these slides. But I will attempt to paint the picture for you, like Leonardo da Vinci did with the Vitruvian Man, and show you the golden ratios. So let's get straight into it. So like I said, I'm going to give you a brief example. I'm going to give a brief example of some expected numbers so you can have some idea of the types of calculations that need to be done as far as risk management is concerned. Like I said before, we are basically trying to get 5% a day. Stick with me here, because this is the part where people start yawning. But it's also the part that will turn what's supposed to be a year to a year and a half journey into a 10-year journey if you don't pay close attention. So in the following slides, I will show you some quick guides for share size, price, and stop loss percentage. So basically, we want to be able to say to ourselves, if stock ABC is $1.50 and my stop loss needs to be 25% away from my entry, how many shares can I get where if I'm stopped out, I won't lose more than 5% of my account on a trade? I hope that was clear. Please rewind the video so you can hear it again. This means that if you have at least a 50-50 win rate, you can at least break even. And if the edge I show you by the end of this presentation increases your win rate to about 60-40, you can rack up the percents like Joe the Plumber and get your $1 million. For this example, we'll stay between $2 and $10 for the calculations. Anything below or above that range, you can do on your own or as you feel comfortable. So the following picture is a risk chart designed to prevent one from losing more than 5% per trade. By using this guide, you can determine what, by using this guide, can you determine what month it pertains to? I'll wait. Pause the video, go ahead and try to do some quick maths and see if you can guess what months, what area of months this chart is pertaining to. What is my account size, quote unquote, that I'm using this chart for? All right, if you pause the video and you're back on now, the answer was between months 5 and 6. Okay, this guide was made for a $2,000 account. This guide right here, this screen. I was going to do more, but I said, you know what, that's going to be too much. And I'll show you why. Even this, my ChatGPT, I had it go through and do price from $1 to $50 for that 2K. I'm not posting all of this in there. Y'all can get ChatGPT to do it for whatever number you at, so you can have that share size that you need. Okay? Right? So the answer was about between month 5 and 6, and I'll show you here. All right, between months 5 and 6. Month 5, it was at 1,600. By the end of the month, you had 32, so about two grand, right? Considering you start from 1,000, turn it to 2,000, turn that 2,000 to 4,000, 4,000 to 8,000, 8,000 to 16,000, so on and so forth. Okay. So as you can see from looking at this chart, right, the higher the percentage, the lower the share size. The higher the percentage risk, the lower the share size. The lower the percentage risk, the higher the share size, right? This ensures that no matter what, if a trade goes against you, you're only losing 5%. But if it goes in your favor, right, if it's moving in 50% increments, right, this is like in a case where the candle is dropping 50% or in 2 candles, or, you know, it's going to pop 50%. So this is like a 1-to-1 strategy. But depending on how long you hold, it can be 2-to-1, right? 3-to-1. See what I'm saying? Okay. So you can see the lower the required stop percentage distance, the higher the share size can be. Load up the shares on a low risk trade and lighten up the shares on a high risk trade. High risk meaning a stock moving in 10% increments, 25% increments. That's pretty risky, considering if one candle drops on you, that could be a 25 to 30% loss. 30% loss hit on the account if you're not careful with the share size. Okay. Now, I think at this point the grunt work is over, and we can get into what it actually looks like to obtain these percents in real time. on a particular day. So I'll show you one example from today and one in the past and give you an idea of what to expect. And I will show you how to use the live back testing tool. Now a person might say, well, bro, if I can only risk 5% of my account per trade, then I'll just worry about that. Like, for example, a person is around month 5 or 6 and they say, for me, 5% of my account is $100. So I'll just risk $100 on every trade. And they will say, no matter what stock I get in, I'll just get 100 shares and put my stop loss $1 away. And they might get away with it a couple times. But over time, they'll learn that this is a recipe for disaster. Because you will find yourself sometimes oversized in some trades and undersized in other trades. And then on top of that, it throws off the amount of times you might even be able to trade in a given day, because one of your oversized positions might have eaten up your buying power for that day, causing you to miss something high quality later in the day. So from here on out, the presentation will be on Thinkorswim charting platform from the very beginning of when you first get the platform, and nothing has been adjusted. By the end of the presentation, you should have a solid understanding of what to look for, where to get in, where to get out, how much to risk on a particular trade, and at least be able to implement this plan on a simulator whenever you're ready. It's here for you. Thanks for listening. And now let's get straight into the chart setup and an example or two of some nice movers from today and maybe a few days ago, just to see what it looks like to take 5, 10, and 20%. Good luck. So this is the Thinkorswim platform. Straight, as soon as you get it out of the gate. As soon as you get it out the gate, don't look like this. You're like, man, this thing is totally overwhelming. I know I said the same thing when I first got this platform, almost 7 years ago. I was like, man, how am I going to figure this thing out? I had to jump on it and start playing around with the charts. So if you're on the same screen as me, maybe you're watching this video on your phone, maybe you're watching it on TV, and then you got your computer right next to you. You want to follow along? Let's get it. I'm about to set up my charts from scratch, and I'm going to be moving a little bit quick because it's not that hard. And it's a video. You guys can pause it and stop and do what you got to do to go ahead and follow along. All right. So boom, straight up. This is how we going to start. Right. First off, I'm going to click right here on the charts. So that's what it's all about. The charts, right? Go over here to the right. Click this. See these windows? You can have all these windows like this. Or you can just make, what we'll be doing is, we're just going to do 2 windows. I'm just going to set up the charts. I'm not going to do a crash course on Thinkorswim platform. I'm going to set it up just how we need it. Boom. Right? So now we got these 2 windows. Let's just go ahead and put in the SPY, right? SPY. No, we put in the QQQ. QQQ, right? QQQ. Boom. Press enter. QQQ. Enter. All right, we got the Q daily chart up there. Now, let's go ahead and make this one the same color, right? Go to this number right here, link. Let's link this chart so this both can be the same. Boom. Now we got 2 charts, the same, right? Now what you want to do is, you want to come and turn one of these into a 5-minute chart, right? This gray area is the pre-market. We're going to set up the chart. Don't worry. Now, first of all, right click this chart right here. Right click any part of the black. Just right click anywhere up in here. And you're going to pop up this. Go to style. Settings. Right. So we're in general at first. Let's see what we need here. We need tools. Put this on each chart. Okay. We're not going to overlap volume. Going to leave it like it is in its own separate window. If we overlap it, it just will come up in here. Right? Now, next one, price access. We don't need to do anything there, right? Aggregation time. We don't need to do anything here. Appearance. So boom. This right here, this box going to be unchecked. Fill it, right? Volume. Color as symbol ticks. Okay. Let's go right here to equities. Let's see if there's anything else. No. Oh, background. Let's make that pitch black. Now these lines in the back right here, we're gonna take those off. This grid. Boom. Pitch black. Boom. See, that's gone. Equities. We don't really need to see nothing here. We want to make sure that show extended hours trading session. Okay. Options, forex, and futures. You're not worrying about that. Hit OK. Boom. You got the chart there. Now, you're going to add some indicators. But before we add the indicators, remember these tools? Remember when I click that tools? This is it right here. You'll scroll up slow. This thing will drop down. Pin it. You'll scroll up slow. This thing will drop down. Pin it. Right? Now, we're going to add some indicators. Right? If you just loaded the tools, then it should be here. Let's use this tab right here. If you don't have that, you can just go to the beaker like this and just add study. Right? So we'll do it this way on this chart, and then we'll do it from this way on this chart, but they're both the same. So let's go right here. We're going to add some moving average. Oh, as a matter of fact, not the same. Look, this thing is putting a bunch of moving averages in here. So move them, see? We do need the 9, so we'll keep that one. Just remove it all, okay? Remove it all. We're going to put the 9 back on, but just leave it like that. Let's put the indicators on our chart. All we putting on is just some moving averages in the VWAP. That's it. For the daily chart, we'll be using 4 moving averages. Right, so let's go to the beaker. Add study. Come down here to moving averages. Right, boom, right over here. Right here, boom. Then for moving averages, first you find exponential. That's going to be the 9 that we put from clicking that line. Then you go back to the beaker, add study, moving averages, simple. Boom. Now, let's see if this is it right here. Yep. Let's go ahead and click on that simple. Edit. Well, I think I clicked hide by accident. Let me go ahead, add study. Simple moving average. Boom. Edit study. Boom. Let's turn this to magenta. Right? This is going to be our 200-day moving average right here in the link. Right? 200-day moving average. Right? We're going to add another indicator. Moving average. Simple. Click it. Edit. Boom. Make it red. Change this 9 to a 20. That 20 moving average is your best friend, man. What? $20. There we go. That's the 20. The 9 and the 200. It's pretty much all we need. You know, sure, we can put the 50 and the 100 on there, but let's do it. This just is going to help us determine whether the stock is bearish or bullish, right? In the short term or the long term. Another simple moving average. Click that one. Oh no. Edit. Let's make this a 100-day moving average. Let's get one more moving average on there. Simple. Let's see, did it change it? Let's see, boom. All right, blue. All right. No, it didn't. So it is here. Move study. Oh no, edit study. Because it should be a 50. I paid it. Let's see, change that to 50. Boom. All right, we in there. We got that 50, that 200, that 100, that 50, that 20, that 9. Most of the time, stocks above that 20, they be holding for mad long. They always poking through the 9 though. All right, so what we can do now is right click this chart, go to style, save style, include patterns and study set. Let's give it a number or something. 1. Then I replace it. Then we come over, right click this gray part, click style, load style, 1. Boom. Now what we're going to do on this side is remove that 50, because this is going to be our intraday chart. We can remove that 200. And we can keep the 200. Let's remove this 100. Okay. Now we can go ahead and save this chart. Boom. 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 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now the intraday chart's, a little bit clean. Let's go on to 5 minutes. Sorry about that. Boom. There we go. All right. We ain't got to worry about the 200 too much. You get some action around it though, but it's good. Okay. Now you're gonna come back up here to the toolbar. Right? Click this wheel right here. Right? This one, delete. This one, you can keep it. I'll delete all of them. Delete. Now add drawing tools, pan, add the pointer, add the trend line. Sometimes I even add a price level. Click OK, and then all your tools will be up there in both charts. On any chart you pull up, your tools are going to be there. Once your windows are set up like that, then you start playing around with the charts. Double click, you can highlight and that zooms in. You highlight this little area right here, that zooms in, right? Okay. I'm trying to keep my eyes open there, bro. I've been up 24 hours. Yo, plus. Okay, but we almost done. So we got the chart set up, right? Volume is here. Volume is here. We got our daily chart. Boom. I like to, boom, you grab the hand, right? You double click the screen, it resets it, right? You can grab the hand, then you can move the chart all around. If you want to move it up and down, first you got to scrunch the numbers just a tiny bit, then you can move up and down like you want freely, right? You can grab the chart. See that? You might want to run that back. Test it out yourself. See, I'm grabbing this mouse right here, the clicker. I'm holding it and then highlighting. Holding, highlighting. See what I'm saying? All right. So the charts are set up. We got everything there. Let's go ahead and save that. So we got to save this grid because this is going to be our main watch, right? Save grid as. It popped up over here. Let's see. Trade plan grid. Okay. So that grid is saved. Now we could go ahead and basically everything we did here, what you can do is, I'll show you right here real quick. Let me just detach this thing, right? Because if you have two screens, you'll be watching some stocks. Like for example, I'll go here like this, and then I'll go to like a 8 box, right? Something like that. Oh no, that's too tight. Let's find something else. Let's find something like a 4 box or something. Let's see. Let's see. Let me get like a 4 box window or something. That's fine. You could have even turned that to 4. So you can go ahead and load these charts up with whatever you want to put in there, right? It's 5. Oh, these are all the same color. That's fine. Let me unlink these. Boom. 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 But it does have. So if you have two screens, then you can make your watch list and you can put you can put stocks in here and watch, right? QQQ, right? Um IWM, right? That kind of stuff. Oh, we got to get rid of some of these tools. Okay, so that's that. So once you got your chart set up, just go ahead and then you can right click it, whether your new chart, or if you want to make more windows, you want to do 3 windows like that, you can do that. Right click it and then go to load style, right? And then find that one that you named. Boom. It's gonna put the chart up there. And you can still switch between time frames and all that stuff. All right. So usually I would have this, on the side. I'll be watching, maybe 2 or 3, and I'll set some alerts for them as well. Like for example, if you need to set an alert, come over here. Well, no, sorry about that. You can right click the screen, like I'll set an alert for Tesla over 409. Right? Right click the screen just like you did, create alert. Right? Go down, notify with, ring. All right, boom. So now that alert is in there. And this is what we do once we get the scanner. Once I get the scanner up going after this is what we do. We setting alerts all day. Then them alerts be going off. We go ahead and map out the share size based on what we saw. Right? We go ahead and map out the share size. Boom. Right? Get in the trade. So the next thing we're gonna mess around with this right here. So we got these columns here. Some of the stuff we just don't need. So we'll close that account tab. This is the news tab. We can leave this alone for now. Delete gadget. This is Trader TV. Delete gadget. You can always get it back from this plus sign right here. It puts up all that stuff. But we'll only be using the watch list. That's all we're using from here. Look at this little chart right here. You don't need it. You're gone. Delete. Anybody ever seen Demon Slayer? I mean, Death Note. When the dude was like, delete, delete, delete. Anyway. So what we're about to do now is set up the scanner. This scanner is going to allow us to find stocks that's going to give us 5% or more in a day. 5% or more off of a pattern. Okay. So first, let's set up the scanner, and then after the scanner is all set up, then I'll just briefly go over some patterns. Basically, the pattern that I look for is kind of staring you right in the face right here. Triple tap, flat top breakout. Boom. All right, let me get rid of this simple movement and everything. So this thing gotta go. Delete. What else I got in there? Nothing. And let's put the oval on. This oval helps us hone in on the process, right? Once I find myself doing this, right? Boom, test. Now all I'm waiting for is the anticipation down here, the breakout, and then the squeeze. That's what I'm waiting for. Okay. So this helps the process, man. The process is the most important thing. So let's go ahead and get the scanner set up. Let's do that. You ready? So boom. Let's do what's this? Create scan query. All right, create scan. So I just grabbed it from the bottom. This is as far as it goes. I'm gonna name this Momo for momentum scan. A lot of people got Momo scan. So first thing we want is a stock that is at least up. It's got to be up at least a penny. All right, so it's going to be minus 0.01. That means it's up at least a penny. All right, we can even make it more than that. Nah, that's fine. We'll leave that. And then the net change can be maximum. The volume, it needs to be at least 1 million. At least 1 million. Okay. Then we got percent change, right? You could have found it in there. It's in there. We want percent. We want that thing to be up at least 10% on the day. We want it to be up at least 10%. Okay. I think there's one more criteria, but I can't think about it right now. Let me see. You got the percent change. We got volume. Oh, price. Well, it's up a penny. We want stocks between $1 and $10. So we're gonna go here right here to add filter. Boom, stock. Then we're gonna add bid. Well, let's see. We can use last. That just means like whatever the price was. 1.00 is the minimum price we want to trade. Matter of fact, I even do 50-cent stocks. 50-cent stocks, I'll trade those all the way up to $15. Right? Unless I see something on the top gamer scan. I ain't even getting in it. All right, so let's save this. Boom. Now, our scan is going to be, once we want the scan, we go to personal. And then we just made the scan right here. It's going to have the purple circle next to it. Momo scan. Now, it's not going to show any stocks now because the market's closed. But about 9:30, this joint going to be pumping. And if y'all watching this, that means that y'all about to get the link to the WhatsApp group. And I'm going to post this in the WhatsApp group. I'm going to post whatever pops up here and whatever opportunities that we're going to see today, right? If I can wake up, back up, because boy, it's cut. So I'm going to take a picture of whatever's in the scan window, and then y'all gonna see. And if you're watching this video, you just set up your own scan, so you don't even need my scan. Boom, your joint is right there. So now we set up the scan, we set up our charts. Now I'm gonna go here to setup, and I'm going to save the workspace as. Trading plan setup. Period. Boom. Save. There's really nothing else to do here now except for just look at a quick example of some stocks. All right. So let me just show you a quick some intraday, and then I'll show you something real clean. I'll show you the most cleanest pattern, the cleanest one that this is the pattern right here. We look for it. We look for it at the beginning of the day, the middle of the day, the end of the day. Okay. Preferably in the beginning of the day, right? The stock is PSQH. This is a stock that we made. You got an 18% gain on. Now we were just talking about percentage, right? We want 5% in a day. We want 5% in a day. This PSQH. Oh, this is only in the third. Let's see if it'll go back that far. Come here to time frames. Right? I can find something more recent from the day. Let's see. CMRX. I'll just do that. I'll use this as an example. So the CMRX, let me clear drawing set. So this would delete all the drawings. Right? We're looking for a triple tap flat top breakout. It's the pattern. Once I see a nice push up like this, and then a retest of that push, I'm like, all right, we got one cooking now, right? Because what this pattern is at first is a double top, and that's a short seller's pattern, right? People take this pattern, right? When they think it's going down, they go ahead and put a sell in, and you just got to know what shorting is. But they basically want this thing to go down, so they sell it in advance, and then to get their position, to get out of position, they have to buy, which makes price go back up. So when price is not going down, just like when we get long something and it doesn't go in our favor, we got to sell. Well, a seller, when they get long something, they got to buy. Okay. So when that double top doesn't work, it starts to base out right here and scare them. And then guess what? The squeeze starts to happen. Right? Start to work for them a little bit. Right? They was ready for it. But then that market open, all that volume come flooding in this stock right here. The only good looking top percent gain of the day. Market open right at 930. You see how it's turned black now? Boom. And the daily chart is gapping over the moving averages, right? Gapping over everything. All right, let's see. Boom. Right? So once I seen that right there, I'm like, all right, man, we're about 10 minutes in. I preferably wait for a pullback, but I'm anticipating this area to get, stopped out. I'm anticipating these shorts to start covering their position because it's going against them. They don't want to get squeezed at the open, but that's what's going to happen. So this would be a nice entry right here for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, right? As it made a new high. First it was low, but then it made a new high over this one. Boom, that's a valid entry to get in to anticipate the break of the pre-market high. Let's see how much we would have had to risk on that trade. So we'll go to the top of this candle as if it closed. This is the 5-minute chart. We'll go to the top of the candle with the trend line tool. Just click it once. Click it once. And then you'll see that blue square appear. Then just pull down. to see how much you would have had to risk. Now, if you can't see it like that, we'll just pull it down like this. See how much you would have to risk on this trade. See, so you see the percent shaking around? See it in the middle of the box here where my mouse is? At 14. So at the lows, this is where our stop loss would have had to go. Would have had to risk 20% on that trade. So what's the process here for us? The process here is to go ahead and look at our sheet. We're going to go just like this. Oh man, this is a nice trade. I really like it. It's a $2.50 stock, and I need to have a stop loss that's about 20 something percent, so that I don't lose more than 5% on my account if this joint decides to put a red candle in and flush me out. Okay, so what we're gonna do is come to the come to your chart. So you're like, man, the stock is $2.50 stock. So I'm gonna look in between this $2 and $3 range, right? And then my stop loss needs to be 20% away, so I can get somewhere around 167 to about 250 shares. So I'm gonna just go right in the middle. I'm gonna just put 200 shares. Sorry. So boom, I can get 200 shares there. That way, if this joint stops me out for that 25%, let's go ahead and see how much cents that is. That's gonna be 40 cents. So it'll be 40 cents, 48 or 50 cents, right? Times 200. That's the loss we take. And that would be $100 loss, 5%. You see? So we would have got that pop, right? Been in there, it would have been up 14%. You could have considered taking that off the table, because all we want is 5%. Done on the day in 1 to 5 minutes, right? This thing would have came back a little bit. Now you got to start getting into some more risk management tactics. Like, all right, how much am I going to let this thing reverse? Now it's starting to reverse. This is my entry, right? Now I have money on the table now. Now it's becoming hard to hold now. Now you in almost greedy now. But you got to try to capitalize, right? Boom, you can start raising your stop loss under the lows of the candle. And then the first candle stopped you out, then you might have gotten stopped out. Let's say you was in there. You might have went from being up, 19, 20% to getting stopped out to now only 10%, right? Or 13%, right? Say it come back down. You got to put your stop at break even. Once you up 20, 30%, put your stop at break even. See what I'm saying? Boom. And this thing would have popped, right? You could have held it because it never made a new low. And then it even popped even more. So let's say you held it by raising your stop loss under the lows. Now, if we politic, that's something that we can agree on. Like, we can bounce those ideas off each other and then internalize. We can be like, you know what, man, we need to hold our stop loss under the 5-minute candle low. First 5-minute candle, make a new low, then we can get out. All right, that's the plan. That's the plan. You know what I'm saying? Teamwork makes the dream work, man. Boom. Would have been up in that joint 35%. Remember, we was only going for 5% on the day. Right? This candle closed at 29%. You were at 29% if you would have took that to candle close. Now you risk giving it all back. It starts to go red again. You got to know that. As soon as it starts to go red, you risk giving it all back. So you got to pay yourself. Are you going to take it all? You're going to take a little piece? I recommend taking it all. Right? Take that cushion, get something else. Trail your stop up the lows. Look at this. Boom. You're trailing up the lows. Boom. Trailing up the lows. Boom. Trailing up, right? Boom. Came down, right? It should have broke out this area right here. Should have broke out that area. Came back down into this area and then tried again. Couldn't do it. Flush. Now that's the end of the move, right? So we could have been in there, up until about right here. That would have been about 26%. You see? 26%, we only going for 5%. Now, I hope you guys understand why I'm so OCD about these percents. All right, so that's just one. Now, let me see. I want to show you PSQH to show you our end of day. Like, let's say you're not able to trade the morning, it's very volatile. Let's go to time frames right here. Now this is 5 minute. Let's change this to like 20 days, so we can see more days of this 5-minute chart, right? So let's go back to PSQH. All right, this is PSQH. This is one of the top percent gainers of the day that day, right? Now it gave a move at the open, but this was pretty risky, right? We could have waited for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high there, but it never gave it. Never gave the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, right? It did pop this right here. You would have had to get in pre-market to anticipate that. Okay, so you can't beat yourself up about that. But once you see this thing pop like that, right? You wish you was in there, right? We start waiting now. So then it's gonna be looking like this, right? It's gonna be looking like this. Now, you might go ahead and put a downtrend line on that, right? And you say, I'm gonna take it if it breaks my downtrend line, right? I'm gonna see how much percent. So first off, let's calculate the percent we need to risk, right? If we start buying this thing, if it starts breaking 580, right? I gotta roll a chart over again. Let's see, that's about a 10% drop. All right. So we'll go to our chart. We'll be like, man, I need to risk 10% on a stock that's almost $6. So I'm gonna go to $6. And then if I need to risk 10 cents, I can get about 150 shares. Something like this, I might get about 150 shares, okay? So boom. Let's see what would have happened when we would have entered that trade. All right, so we would have got long right there for that first green candle to close, right? Would have got long right there, stop loss around maybe 513, right? Let's see what the next candle gonna do. Ooh, would have gave back. So right there, we would have been down. Would have been down about, hold on, I gotta do this. Would have been down about 10%, almost 8% on that. We gonna hold that or what? You know, by this time on the day, we got a little bit of cushion, right? We know if the stop loss comes around here about 513, we'll lose 5%. So we're not going to be too burnt about that, right? But these are the increments that it's moving. It's moving in like 10% increments, right? So we might have held this trade as it popped up here, right? We might have got out for the 6% or the 5%, right? Might have got out if we was in here right here, right? We might have got out, yeah, around 4 or 5%, right? We could have said, you know what, this is a double top. This thing is going down. This thing is going down. And that's probably what the double top shorters thought until this joint got caught up by the 20 moving average right there. And then you know what your boy said. Triple tap, flat top breakout. I start mapping it out. Boom. Boom. Right? I start getting in right here. As it popping up, I'm getting in right there. And then, yeah, of course, you're getting faked out. You're going to remember. You're going to say, if I get in right here 620 something, hold up. If I get in there at 620 something, my stop loss is going to have to come down here around 550. So I'm going to have to risk 10%. So, I mean, that's a 10% drop. Let's go back to the chart. This is the process. What you see me doing is risk management. This is the process. This is what's going to make your account build and grow. Okay, 10% on a $6.50 stock. Boom. So between this, I got risk 10%, still about 150 shares. All right. So I'm in there with about 150 shares. 200, right? If I'm really feeling really confident on that trade, I might go a little bit closer, right? A little more, put a little more risk on it, man. Maybe 6% of the account, right? Boom. Get this thing a chance to pop. You know it's gonna be a clean end of day squeeze. And then this thing goes ahead and does what it's supposed to do. Good stuff. This thing popped and gave us, well, we managed to get out 18% if you watch that video, but then it popped up a little more and gave 25%. Then it dropped, right? So that's 17%. This is end of day. See, so you can come after these for the end of day, right? If we a team, we like, yo, man, I see this. We all looking for the same thing. You're like, yo, man, I see this. I see this. Yo, man, check this out. Yo, man, check this out. Yo, that's good. What y'all think about this? Right? Oh, yeah, that's hot. Oh, that's not. Right? So let me show you how it looked when I actually traded that joint. And I'm about to be done with y'all after this. After I show you this slide, I'm just going to show you the on-demand feature of this platform that will allow you to go back and trade any day. So this was that day, that I traded that stock. I just took a screenshot because you gotta save that. You gotta save these kind of things so you can know what to look for again. You want to put this on your wall, save it on your phone as your background, right? And your screensaver so you can see like, all right, triple tap, triple tap, triple tap. You want to see 100 triple taps. You want to see 200, 300. You want to have these pictures stacked up. Like for example, let me just show you something real quick. Let me just show you something real quick. Well, we don't really need to look at this slide anymore, so I guess let me see. All right, let's put this up here because I need to go back to the slides. So let me click this. So, I mean, this is I have two of these, so I'm gonna have to go to my other email address. But when I see something that made a big move, you see a stock that made a big move, it's what top percent gain of the day. You see people talking about it all over social media, whatever. Go look at the day, see what it did. See how you could have gotten in it. At what time did it start to move? Right? Look at this TRIL. Right? This is stuff from years ago. This is from 2020. Look at this. This is CPAH 2020, right? Triple tap, mapping it out, right? I wasn't thinking about percents around this time. You see what I'm saying? I'm hurting right now looking at these joints. Seeing how much percents I could have got up these joints, right? Take pictures of charts. Take pictures. Look at that. Look at that clean breakout pre-market. Topped over the pre-market high. Man, this right here, that was 20%. 10 and 20%. It looked crazy, but it was huge, right? But anyway, not to hold up too much of your time. I'm just gonna do I'm gonna show you the on-demand feature, right? First, I'll show you some quick slides real quick. I ain't gonna show you this slide. I'm just gonna show you that, why you need to make the slides. Come on, man. You just do like this. Just change this. Boom. All right, now go to slides. These is more slides that I've taken over the year. Started writing a book. Start select people. These are slides about U-shapes, right? I got on maybe 300 pictures of something that I've identified as a U-shape, but they're all the same. They're all the same, right? Now around this time, this is early 2020. I wasn't even looking at the pre-market. You see what I'm saying? So you're gonna evolve over time, as you get more comfortable trading. But this U-shape, look at this thing. This thing went 100% right here. How you held it, however long you could have rolled this bull right here, you could have got 50, 60, 70, 80, 100%. You see what I'm saying? Guys are out here killing this joint. Where was you at? January 27th, 2020. Couple more. I ain't gonna go in too deep, but I got pictures, man. Pictures. Right? I start noticing that things were breaking out at 11:30, so I start collecting pictures of breakouts at 11:30. Right? I start noticing that things were moving on the first day of the move after a bunch of red days. So I start collecting pictures of percent gainers on the first day of the move. Right? I started collecting pictures of ideal setups and the aftermath. What is an ideal setup? A stock that's gapping over the 200 moving average on the daily chart, right? Stuff like that, right? And that's pretty much it, man. So like I said, let me just show you how. I'm gonna show you like in real time, what it's like to use the Thinkorswim on demand. And then if you guys, like you said, you want to be able to test a stock, I got thousands of pictures of stocks. I got thousands of pictures of stocks where we can go ahead. I can go ahead and call out a ticker, and then y'all should have your simulators already loaded up, right? Have the simulator loaded up, then or the on demand, and then we go ahead, just plug it in and then trade it, right? So you can see if you can identify it. See what you would have done in those situations. See how you will go through the process. All right, so let me go ahead and find this. Let me see. I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna surprise y'all. All right. All right, so 1 second. 1 second, we almost done. All right. Oh. Uh-oh. All right, yeah, we almost done. Hold on. Hold on. I got you guys covered. All right. So watch this. This right here in the top corner, top right corner. So once you load up your platform live, go to top right corner, on demand. Right? Now I'm just gonna plug in a stock from earlier this month, so you guys can see what it's like to use this on demand feature of the platform. All right, you gotta go. All right, so boom, this is the on demand feature. This is the date, right? So I'm gonna put on. I'm looking for, let's see, November 29th, or is that December 1st? Let me see if that's December 2nd. Yeah, I think it is December 2nd, right? We're gonna start at, let's make this thing start at from 9:29, right? 1 minute before the market open. December 2nd, 2024. Let's get it. And then, so you can see the clock changed. Well, it didn't do, let's see. The day changed. 00, 29. Boom. All right. And then I'm going to type in the stock just so y'all can see. SNTI. So this is basically basically you'll be seeing this is what we'll be looking for. A stock that moved up big pre-market, right? And then normally we'd be looking for, a nice triple tap flat top breakout, pre-market. We didn't get that here. And I remember this day, it kind of flustered me. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit the fast forward button. This makes it move 3 times faster. See, seconds moving in 3 seconds, 5-second chunks. So as the market opens, right, I'm thinking like, yo, man, this thing is going to come down. I'm thinking this thing is going to come down because it already popped, right? First of all, it's already up 200-300% already. Look at that. It's up 155% pre-market already. So I'm like, maybe if it pops this high right here, 738, it could go some more. Now this is the first day of the month, right? Everybody's antsy, right? The stocks are going crazy. People know it. Let's go ahead and fast forward this 15 minutes. So now, I mean, that's 10 minutes, right? You hit that button and fast forwards 10 minutes. All right, so this thing starts pulling in. I'm like, yes, it's going down. Good. It broke the high and flushed in. Right. Good. It might do some kind of U shape. Give us some kind of triple tap flat top. Right. What was it doing? Retesting. So this thing was like straight up squeezing. Right. Looked like it halted down. Let's see if we can see the time in sales. See if any orders coming through. All right. Yep. So it wasn't halted. You might have to go ahead and fast forward that again. But at this time, I had to run out because I was happy. I was at work. I had to go run out and get a call. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna come back and everything gonna be all good. When I came back, this is what it looked like. You know your boy was sick. You know your boy was sick, right? Because that's an opening range breakout right there, right? Boom. I came back. This is what it was doing. I couldn't buy that right there. I couldn't buy that and then risk that thing coming down on me 33%. At the time, I hadn't had the strategy to the point where I said, if I get this stock, how much would I get if I only have to, if I only want to lose 5% of my account? Maybe I would have got it if I say, all right, this thing is 40%, right? It's a $10 stock. It's about $10 and I can risk 40%. I would have said, I would have came up here like this, boom, come to the chart. All right, $10 stock. I got to risk 40%. I can get 30 shares, 40 shares, 25 shares. All right, I'll take that. I would accepted that. I would accepted that. So let's say we got 25 shares. Now watch this. You can actually do this on the this on demand. Now I have a lot of stuff going on my computer. That's why it's like slow. So look at that. Watch this. So it says I can get about 25, 30 shares. That's what I'm gonna do here. Watch this. Boom, open this up. Change this right here. I opened up the active trader tab. 25, right? Make sure you click that auto send so it don't slow you down. Then I'm hitting buy. I'm in there. I know my stop loss supposed to be down here. I got to risk 30% on it. That's where, if it come down here, we definitely, everybody getting flushed. Everybody's mad, bro. If it comes all the way down here. Then, as time goes on, I'm like, I can get a little bit closer, man. I can put my stop a little bit closer, right? Because it didn't flush immediately, right? So I can take some of that risk off the table, right? And I can give it some time. So now, instead of having 40% risk on the table, I'm like, all right, if it stops me out here, I might lose, 10% of, of that position size. So 25 shares times, so basically you're not booking that whole 5% loss. That's what the point is, right? Once you can lower your risk, I'm not even booking the whole 5% loss, but I still stand to make 5% gain off of these 20% burst that it's doing. Look at all this buying that's coming in right here. 2,000 shares, 600 shares, 100 shares, 10, 4,000 right here. All of these shares is halted. It must have halted. Boom, in there already. Now we up almost 5% on those 25 shares for that account size. Let's fast forward it. Watch this. Boom! Get out my face! I'm cutting this joint off, man. But this is how this works. So I got this thing going fast forward. If we do it, we can do it slow. It doesn't matter. But, this is the presentation, man. And I'm proud of everybody who stayed to the end, man. You guys are troopers. Ooh, you guys are troopers, man. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And then I'm just going to leave y'all with this right here. Hold on. Oh, yeah, if you just want to sell it, you just hit the sell market. And then you can come and see your, you can come and see how your P&L is doing if you hit that monitor button. Hold on. Hit this monitor tab right here. And then you can see what you know, you can see what your P&L is doing in activities and positions, right? You can see your positions, make sure you ain't got no more open positions. Like I said, my computer's moving mad slow because I got a lot of stuff open right now. But I wanted to leave y'all with one last video before I hop off. See, there it is. It popped up. Look at that. And then you can switch this to show you percentages instead of just showing you, you know, dollars, right? But focusing on those percents keeps you safe. It keeps you safe, keeps your account safe, and allows you to capitalize on highly volatile stocks without worrying about, oh, you know, it's just there, man. So look, if y'all figure out a different way, more power to you. I mean, look, man, this is it, bro. This is clear, Mubin. Um, so I'm gonna log off this, and then I just want y'all to see this last video. Let y'all know that I ain't the only one. I'm gonna show y'all. Méchant. And then maybe if you get diligent on on the stuff that I just said and tap in, you know, and start inquiring and stuff because there's much room for inquiry, you know. You guys still gotta become one. I'm one with the strategy. You guys gotta become one with the strategy. Okay? So um, you know, maybe if you know, you guys put in the work, you know, I'm saying this to me too, because I'm sitting here talking to myself. I'm just imagining I'm talking to people, but man, y'all don't know the half, bro. This could be you right here.
I did it. I did
I
it.
did it.
I
I
turned a
turned a
hundred
hundred
into a
into a
million. Nobody believed in me, but I did it. $91,000. $200,000. $332,400,000 of profit. So we'd be at 600,000. 824,000 smackaroos, boys. Bro, 3 fucking months turning $100 into $1 million. I'll never forget. I did it. I did it.
motivation, yo. So come on, tap in, man. Tap in. I'm tapping out right here. 123. Boom, 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 boom. Subhanallah.